Hello again. How are you? How have you been? I am your friend, the reader, and I'm back with a few more stories from the dark side of Reddit. Over the years, Reddit has become a platform people can trust to anonymously confess their deepest, darkest secrets. From deep-seated childhood trauma to crimes for which they were never charged. Users often create throwaway accounts to share these most intimate secrets without the fear of repercussions. Today, we'll be looking at 6 childhood confessions from Reddit. Let us begin. When I was about 5 years old, my sister, 2 years old, and I were in a backyard in a kiddie pool. When my mom went inside, I attempted to drown my sister. After I saw her lifeless, I realized that it was a big mistake, and I pulled her out of the pool and called for my mom. Luckily, she knew CPR, and she was life-flighted to the hospital. My mom thanked me for saving her and for pulling her out of the pool. The next week was my birthday, and the police, firefighters, and paramedics came to my house to give me gifts and celebrate my birthday. To this day, 20 years later, I still think about it. I remember the day so vividly, and not a soul knows the real truth. When I was 12, there was this boy in my classroom who loved gymnastics I used to pick on sometimes. Me and my friends would call him girly and gay and stuff. One day in gym class, he was doing some kind of gymnastic twirl. When I decided to push his back with my foot in order to make him fall, he fell down to the ground heavily and broke his spinal cord, which most likely will have him paralyzed for his entire life. I was not sentenced in any way due to that it was considered an accident because of my young age. I just got changed to another school. I have tried to reach him and his family several times, but they do not want anything to do with me, of course. He was a boy with dreams and talent in gymnastics, and I have forever ruined his life. I have been depressed ever since. I wish I could swap places with him because he does not deserve that. Almost 3 years have passed, and it still feels like a never-ending nightmare. Somebody will not be able to live his life properly because I'm a jerk. No one wants to be near me since then. I look forward to starting an anti-bullying campaign in the future. But nothing will ever be enough, because the boy will always be in a wheelchair, no matter how much I try to redeem myself. I know this will get a lot of hate, and yes, I deserve it. I'm not looking for any validation or forgiveness. I know I'm a human piece of trash. I just need to get this out. I have a brother who's 2 years older than me. He suffered from a condition since birth that forces him to be in a wheelchair anytime he's out of bed. He cannot use his arms that well either. We used to have a great relationship until I turned 11, and I really started resenting the amount of attention he took from my parents and how much stress he put them under. I had to constantly help him, change him, and feed him. I hated it. There was a few years in his life where he was so mean to me and my parents, and it made me resent him even more. I realize now that I had no right to judge him, and I will never know how difficult life is for him. I stopped hanging out with him and made more friends at school. I would tell my family all the fun I was having at school during dinner to make him feel bad. I started barely talking to him or acknowledging his presence. He would get frustrated to the point of tears to get my attention. It started escalating 2 years ago when I would purposely turn off the Wi-Fi and unplug the TV every time we had to leave the house, so my brother could do nothing but sit in his wheelchair. I would purposely delete his favorite saved shows on the DVR. I would make fun of his speech and push things out of reach. I would act disgusted when I had to change or bathe him. It always made him feel bad, and he would apologize. I made my own brother apologize for taking a dump. What the fuck is wrong with me? But my fucking saint of a brother never told my parents. He never let me have it. 3 weeks ago, he was trying to talk to me nonstop, and I just ignored him. I got annoyed and wheeled him against his wishes to the backyard and placed him under an umbrella and went back inside. I fell asleep, and I realized I left him out there for 3 hours. When I went to bring him back inside, he was in tears and he wouldn't look at me. He was humiliated. I have always felt guilty about how I treated my brother all these years, but my anger towards him overpowered it. But seeing that look on his face affected me in a way that was different from before. I stopped bullying him after that day. I couldn't even look him in the face, I was so ashamed. Last Sunday, my brother told me he was glad I was his brother and his friend. I couldn't even respond. I went to my room and I cried. I'm fucking crying again typing this all out. When did I become an evil trash human being? Fuck. I'm 17 and he's 19 now. I know there is nothing I can do to make up for the past 6 years. My brother will be returning with my mom from a specialist appointment tonight. I'm going to apologize to him and beg for his forgiveness tonight. I want to start being a fucking decent brother to him again. I'm a healthy guy with no issues who chose to bully his brother for something that wasn't even his fault. I'm so ashamed of myself. Update. A lot of people were asking for an update, so here it is. I wrote up a long-ass apology letter that I wanted to read to my brother. I waited until he got home and got in bed for the night. I knocked on his door, and he was so fucking excited that it was me. I couldn't even get through the first few words. I started crying after saying, I wanted to say that I'm really sorry, and I just couldn't get through it. I just got into his bed with him and laid down next to him. He hugged me really tight and said, I missed you, buddy. I fucking lost it. I never cried that bad before. He just hugged me for a long time until I calmed down. We didn't talk much. He started crying for a bit too. It was the first time in a long time we hugged. After half an hour, I got up and I gave him a kiss and he told me that he was happy. Why didn't I do this earlier? Fuck. I thought I could try apologizing properly again tomorrow. I left him the note to read again anyway. I'm feeling very hopeful right now, and a lot of pressure in my heart is gone. I swear to God and on my own life that I will never treat my brother so badly again. I've been working part-time for the past year, and I was saving some money so my brother and my mom could go on a trip to a place he really wanted to go to. But I think I'll take my brother myself instead, when I turn 18, of course. I also realized that I need to have a relationship with my brother where I'm not just taking care of him. It needs to be like a normal brother relationship, like going to the movies and stuff. It's going to take some time for me to fix the mess that I created, though. I'm just lucky my brother is amazing. I received a lot of messages. I appreciate everyone for their input, and I did read them all, even if I didn't reply. Thanks, everyone. Okay, here we go. This still torments me to this day. When I was 13 years old, my parents took me to buy a hunting slingshot. I also bought a bunch of large metal ball bearings to shoot. My parents kept the real ammo and told me I wasn't allowed to play with the slingshot when they weren't home. So 15 minutes after we get home, they both left for a few hours. My brother and his friend and I immediately went and took the slingshot out of their room, but couldn't find the ammo. Our house is built on an old hazelnut farm, so there are a lot of hazelnut trees around the property, and a lot of squirrels. So we start picking up these nuts that the squirrels dropped out of the trees and start shooting things in the yard. Then, sure enough, the squirrel came down on a really low branch while my brother's friend had a nut ready to shoot. We hadn't been able to hit a single target the entire time we were outside. We sucked. So as a joke, I told my brother's friend to shoot the squirrel that was 10 feet away. He pulled back and shot the squirrel right in the side of the head. It fell out of the tree and was paralyzed on the left side of its body, but it was kicking with 2 feet on the right side and was spinning in a circle, making these horrible shrieking noises. There were blood bubbles exploding out of its nose, mouth, and eyeball at the same time. It was screaming this shrilling bloody murder noise, and it was my fault that it was writhing in horrendous pain. I swear to God I could feel the pain it was experiencing. I thought quick, and I realized I had to put it out of its misery. So I grabbed a big branch off the ground and started hitting the squirrel as hard as I possibly could. It wouldn't die. I was smashing the shit out of that little critter. It took at least 8 to 10 hits to finally kill it. Once it was dead, I dug a hole and buried the little guy and apologized to it over and over again, petting it and telling it I was so sorry. I'm 31 years old now, and after almost 20 years, I still get sick to my stomach every time I think about that. Fuck. I suck. I got bullied a lot. Bullies have various weak points that if you exploit them can really fuck them up. Of course, in this interim, they can also fuck you up. But I was depressed and suicidal at age 13, so I kind of hope he'd kill me. We'll call him Kyle. Kyle was probably mentally unbalanced. He was a skinny kid who wore half sleeves, had pinhole pupils, and messed up hair. Wiry motherfucker, too. We had a big ox-like guy who didn't mind beating up kids, but wasn't self-motivated, so he usually did so at the bequest of others. Kyle got Ox to wail on me a few times, or he held me down while Kyle or one of his toadies wailed on me. I got some pretty bad beatings, and as I was neglected at home, nobody gave a shit. I just learned to heal, avoid them, or hide until they went home. One day, it occurred to me during a beating that Kyle never got me alone. I pointed this out to him. He told me he'd kill me. I said he didn't have the brains or strength to do it alone. Ox would do it or whatever, because he was weak. Kyle got this look in his eye that let me know I hit my mark. For the next few encounters, I'd say, "I see you with Ox. Does Ox know you won't fight me alone?" Kyle acted like he didn't care at first, but I could tell it got to him. He kept telling me to shut up, or, "You're dead if I ever get you alone." Even Ox started to lose his spirit, only half beating me with this confused look on his face. Do you always do what Kyle asks you to do? You ever thought of beating him up? Ox didn't have answers for that, but it gave him pause. Soon, Ox stopped hanging around Kyle, and every time I saw Kyle, I'd say, "Alone, Kyle, alone." And he got madder and madder. It was unhinging him. He looked like he was going to fucking kill me. But he was all talk, and I grew confident. Soon, just mouthing alone to him got him riled up. I'd also give him long stares at lunchtime until he would start screaming at me. And when people would look back at me, I was looking out the window as a nonchalant motherfucker. At some point, he had been calling me gay, and another slur for gay. I finally asked him what that meant, and he didn't have a decent answer. I told him what it meant, at least as much as I knew in 1982, and said he liked having sex up the butt, and other rather unfair stereotypes about the gay community. Oh, this escalated his rage. I mean, he went from unhinged to hanging on by a thread. He started getting a tick in his eye and started pulling out his own arm hair in an OCD reaction. One day in science class, he was giving me some lip service because he had had a supportive buddy with him. At some point, he started throwing paper wads at me. I looked back at him, mouthed, "Alone," and blew him a silent kiss that ended with a seductive lip lick. He snapped. He didn't just snap. He turned into some wild animal and launched himself at me, screaming some kind of incoherent shrieking like a kid being crushed in a combine. He managed to get within a foot of me, scrambling over desks and throwing everything aside like an enraged baboon before the teacher grabbed him. He started screeching and clawing at the teacher's face. Luckily, the teacher was very tall and had better leverage. "It's okay, Kyle. It's okay. Let's just go outside in the hallway so you can calm down," the teacher said, and had to carry Kyle's skinny ass away like a giant flapping fish. The door closed. We heard more screaming, banging against lockers, and the teacher calling for help. We heard more voices, some of them saying, "Oh my God, oh my God." The teacher came in, pale, and told us to stay in our seats. She closed the door and witnessed the spectacle from the skinny door window. Once in a while, more incoherent shrieking. Minutes later, 2 cop cars and an ambulance drove up. All of us kids looked out the window and saw some people cart Kyle away, strapped down tightly to a gurney. He was now crying and wailing, like the tail end of a complete nervous breakdown. He was screaming, "I'm going to kill you. Kill, kill, die, die. Kill, kill, fuck, fuck, die, shit, kill, oh my God, I will kill you," but seemed to be shouting at no one in particular. He had screamed so much, he had become hoarse by this point, and it was really alarming. No one ever brought this up to me, because everyone remembered that Kyle attacked a teacher. I never got asked about this, as I was pretty anonymous at the time, and anyone who didn't know the backstory would have thought I was no more a victim than the other kids Kyle tossed aside as Kyle made his way towards me. I never saw Kyle again. Rumor was he was taken to a mental hospital and stayed there for quite some time. No idea what really happened to him, but after that, I realized how badly I fucked him up, and I still feel a lot of remorse. TLDR. Using mental games, I drove a bully to the brink of insanity and pushed him over the edge. This last confession is very dark and contains very alarming, very sensitive content. Viewer discretion is advised. I came very close to committing a school shooting. I was picked on a lot in high school. I think it was because I tried so hard to be cool, and everyone saw right through it. There were these 4 cowboy jock types that gave it to me the worst. After being publicly humiliated and beaten in front of a girl I liked, as she laughed and cheered, I decided that none of it was worth it anymore. I had no support at home, being an only child, and having parents that worked constantly, and cutting and burning myself didn't make me feel better anymore. So I got my dad's handgun out of the gun safe. He uses the same combo for everything, the fucking idiot. And brought it to school with me the next day. I can't adequately describe for you guys how ready I was to kill these four. I had absolutely no fear or doubt in my mind. I wanted nothing more than to show everyone what happens when you push someone over the edge like they did. I had the gun tucked in my waistline. I was wearing this baggy pair of cargo shorts that I wore a couple of times a week that day. I remember walking toward the Cowboys table, so goddamn ready for it to be over, when the gun fell out of my waistline, down my left short leg, and made the loudest fucking sound as it hit the cafeteria floor. I tried my best to grab the gun real quick, but everyone saw what it was and screamed, and one of the instructors tackled me to the ground. They eventually concluded that I had brought the gun to school to impress people with badassery and had no intention of using it. I was expelled and sent to live at a youth ranch in Idaho until I was 18. I did have the intention of using it, though. I was going to kill all of them. I'm 24 now, and I still think about it all the time. I have not recovered from high school. I'm still terrified of people in general, and avoid having relationships because I fear what I'm capable of. I'm not looking for pity. I know that what I did was wrong. It just feels good to tell the story. Thanks, Reddit. Hey guys, how are you? I've tried to record this outro like 2 or 3 times now, and I'm just gonna go for it. I just wanted to start off by saying thank you. Thank you to all of you. All the new 1,000 subscribers that I've gained since my last video, and all the 500 faithful that I had before this. Your support is just incredible. The one thing that I noticed was that everyone rallied around my channel because they noticed that it was on the ground floor. And everyone was very complimentary, and I want to let you know that I read every single comment that's been posted to all my videos. Whether it was a compliment, whether it was a criticism, I want to say thank you to helping my channel grow. And yes, I am very aware that the music on the Spontaneous H video is very loud. Maybe one day I can go back and fix it up and, turn the sound down, so that way it's actually listenable. I just think it's crazy that my most viewed video is probably my worst produced. But seriously guys, thank you so much. And an especially big thank you to a very special lady who helped record my new intro. She did it in one take, she nailed it, and she completely blew me away. So, an especially big thank you to a very special lady. So yes, I've been gone for a while. And I wanted to let you know, yes, life is good. I had the opportunity to do some charity work and work with children for a while, and I couldn't pass it up. It was a very rewarding experience, but I'm back, and I'm looking forward to making new content. I also wanted to let you guys know that the sticker shop is on its way. I've had the stickers ready and printed for a couple of months now. They've been sitting on my desk gathering dust, and once the shop is ready, I'll post a link in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, to my Facebook page, and my Instagram. Hopefully I can actually give you guys some updates this time. Seriously guys, thank you so much for your support. I really wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. This is the Reader signing off for now. Till next time, my friends. Goodbye.